What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode in this series. In part one, we designed the architecture. In part two, we established a production foundation with resource groups, tags, and governance controls. In this video, we're building a networking layer of the environment. This is where segmentation, security boundaries, and traffic control are established before we deploy any workloads. The objective today is to create a secure virtual network, define proper subnet segmentation, and apply network security groups to control traffic flow. We're building this the way a production environment should be built, with security first. Let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is create a virtual network. Where we're going to go is the networking resource group. And from the networking resource group, we're going to hit create and type in virtual network. And we're going to hit create. So just to give everyone a little heads up what virtual networks are, Azure Virtual Networks is the fundamental building block for your private network in Azure. VNets enable many types of Azure resources, such as Azure Virtual Machines, to securely communicate with each other, the internet, and on-prem networks. Long story short, virtual networks are essential if you want to communicate with devices and to access the internet. So we have to keep up the naming consistency. So we're gonna put BP, VNet, production, VNet core, production 01. Make sure it's deployed in the East US as which it was. We're going to leave this blank for right now. And for this, we're going to change this to 10.10.0.0 with a backslash of 16. The reason why that I'm choosing the backslash of 16 is because it allows for future growth and a clean subnet carving without having to redesign the entire address space later. So when you design networks or environments, the biggest thing is to make sure you plan out your IP addresses. So as you can see down here, it says with a backslash of 16, I have 65,536 IP addresses available. Now let's say hypothetically, if I chose a 26, I only have 64. So that's important as to when you're developing your network or environment, just to make sure you leave yourself enough IP addresses for potential growth in the future. So we're going to go to review and create now. And we're going to hit create. And once this creates, the next thing we're going to do is create subnets. Inside the virtual network, we're going to be segmenting traffic into 3 dedicated subnets. The first subnet is going to be the management subnet. The second one is going to be the server subnet. And the third one is going to be the application subnet. I'm going to be using a backslash of 24, which keeps segmentation clean and manageable while still allowing IP addresses to allocate and be able to connect to different things. Segmentation is also important because it reduces the blast radius. For example, let's say if a workload is compromised, it does not automatically mean the entire network is exposed. So that's why it's important, if you can, to create multiple subnets. So we're going to go inside of here, the resource, which is the virtual network, and we're going to go to subnets. We're going to go to subnet right here, and then we're going to name this management subnet. This is going to be 10.10.1.0 with a backslash of 24, and then we're going to add that. And we're going to make 2 more. We're going to do server subnet. Server subnet with a 10.10.2.0 with a backslash of 24. We're going to add that. And last but not least, we're going to add the application subnet. Application subnet 10.10.3.0 with a backslash of 24. We're going to add that. So as you can see right here, all of our subnets are created. And now the next thing we're going to do is to create network security groups. Network security groups are important because they control how the traffic flows in and out. You can set rules for what's allowed in, what's not allowed, and vice versa in terms of what do you want traveling across the internet and stuff, and what ports to use. So we're going to go to create. We're going to go to resource group network because that's where our virtual network is and that's where our subnets are, because later on in the video, just about another section, we're going to associate it with that. So we're going to put BP, Network Security Group, Management, Production, 01. We're going to review and create. Excuse me. We're going to create. And we have to create 2 more. We're going to go back here. Network security groups. Deploy it the same way here. We're going to put BP, NSG, NSG servers, production 01, review and create, and we're going to create. And last but not least, we're going to create 1 more, which is for the app. Refresh this. Let's see. Now 1 more. We're going to put it in the same place. For the name, we're going to put BP, NSG, app, production. We're going to review and create. And just like that, we've created. So instead of, like I said earlier, instead of using one network security group for everything, we separate them so it can give us, let's just say, specific control over traffic policies for each subnet. Alrighty. So by default, Azure denies inbound traffic unless you explicitly allow it. For the management subnet, I will allow RDP access only from my specific public IP address. I will not allow RDP from any. That will expose the VM unnecessarily. So the biggest thing with, let's just say, an environment, you want to use the principle of, I like to think of it as least privilege for all aspects, but you want to also reduce your blast radius of any potential hackers. Yes, even though Azure handles the information you want to say, there's still always a potential threat of being exposed. So you want to make sure that if you can reduce exposure, why not? So what we're going to do now is go to the management production 01 for network security group. And from here, we're going to go to inbound traffic. We're going to just set 2 quick rules. The first rule is going to be my IP address. Excuse me. And then we're going to go to RDP. And then we're going to allow it. So as you can see, that priority, we have to make sure once we get down here, priority is a big thing. So source port range 3389. And we're going to name it allow my IP. We'll just leave it like that. And we're going to add. So basically what it's saying is I'm allowing any traffic from 3389 port to my IP address only. Because the next rule we're going to create is deny all. My IP address. We're going to go to deny. Go to RDP 3389. Deny all others. So I just created 2 network security group rules in a sense. So just a quick reminder, if you don't know what priority is in which the order is going upon. For example, this one is the top priority, so I'm allowing my IP address first, followed by 110, which is I'm denying every other one. And this is important because of the fact of you get to dictate how you want your Azure environment to go. So you might as well make your environment very tight and allow the rules, not allow, but put the rules that you want in place. Restricting the source significantly reduces the attack surface as well. The servers and application subnets will remain locked down for now, and no broad inbound rules will be created for those. And last but not least, I will now associate network security groups with the respective subnets. So we're going to go back to the network security group, and we're going to go to subnets. Alrighty. I'm going to go to network security group right here. And for this one, for the app subnet, I'm going to associate this with the application subnet, and I'm going to press OK. Next, I'm going to go to the management production, and I'm going to press subnet, and I'm going to associate this with the management subnet. I'm going to press OK. And last but not least, I'm going to go to the servers, go to subnets, go to associate, and server subnet. And I'm going to press OK. Doing all that ensures that subnet level traffic control and enforces segmentation boundaries. Subnet level network security groups make policies easier to manage as the environment scales. If this was a client deployment, networking will always be established before compute. This ensures that workloads are deployed into a controlled and segmented environment rather than an open network. In the next video, we will deploy the application server into server subnets and configure secure access properly. Each phase builds on the last, ensuring the environment remains structured and secure from the ground up. Until next time.